Let's bring in Arizona Secretary of State Adrian Fontes. Important to note, Secretary Fontes once served as Maricopa County Recorder. It is good to see you, sir. I begin with that intro because I think fake electors can sound really wonky. I think it can be easy to forget that we are talking about multiple cases in multiple jurisdictions and multiple states. This is truly sprawling. So let's start with you, with Arizona. Your sense there of a timeline for when charges could be filed.
Well, first, thank you for having me again, Alicia. And I couldn't tell you exactly when the charges may be filed, but our Attorney General, Chris Mays, is, as has been reported, apparently working on it. Now, I don't have any personal knowledge of this. That is within the Department of Law, not my Department of State. And so she's got the ball on that one, and I'm sure she's going to be running hard with it. I will note that in 2022, in February, as a candidate for Secretary of State, I did send a recommendation to the Arizona's Department of Justice for the District of Arizona, sent them a referral for this exact activity. And it's good to know that something is actually happening across the country to bring some of these liars and fraudsters to justice.
Well, let me ask you then about something that is at least where your purview overlaps, because in addition to the fake electors, Attorney General Mays is also investigating all the threats made to election workers. And I think it's important to remember that that, too, was something that happened in multiple states that has made it very difficult for election officials in these states to recruit new people who want to do this work, to run the sort of basic mechanics of elections. Draw a line for me from that accountability for the harassment that was done to election workers and to the elections that you are hoping to run fair, free, and safe in 2024.
Well, just for a matter of background, 3/4 of our states have lost either a county recorder, who's the senior election official in each county, or the election director, who's the senior appointed election official. We have sort of a 1-2 punch of administering our elections at the county level. They're the ones that run the counties, and 12 out of our 15 counties have in the last year and a half or so lost a senior election official. The situation is, to a degree, one could say, dire. We're doing our best to make sure to support all of our counties to make sure that 2024 is going to be a free and fair election. We would have been much better off with more resources had the executive and the legislature actually done their jobs and funded the elections that they want run well. But with the team that we've built here, including decades and decades and decades of experience in large, medium, and small counties across the state, we're going to be able to lend a good hand. And we are exceeding expectations when it comes to actually bringing in some new folks. We were very worried for a while, but the new people who are coming in to help run our elections, particularly some of our new county recorders here in Arizona. I'm speaking specifically of Pinal County, Arizona, and Yavapai County. They are energetic, they're jazzed up, they're hard chargers, and they've got strong teams behind them. So we look pretty good for 2024. We will not be out of the woods until it's over, of course, and we're going to be doing everything in the Department of State that we can to support them with better training, with more legal support, and all of the things that the Secretary should provide.
I want to ask you about something that is not happening in your state, but given that you are an election expert, that you do this work, I want to ask you about Alabama and the state government's refusal to draw a second majority black voting district in the state, defying a Supreme Court order. What is it going to take to contend with gerrymandering in the redistricting process? What are you thinking from Arizona when you watch what is happening out of Alabama?
What I'm seeing is a lot of fear. I'm seeing cowards in that government who are worried that their message, their values, their politics is not what the majority of their voters want in Alabama. And so they've got to manipulate the rules, even going against the United States Supreme Court, to keep their desperate grasp on power. Instead of doing better for their own citizens, they're manipulating systems. They are defying court orders. They're trying to keep people from voting just to cling to power. And, you know, good leaders actually follow what the folks want done. You let your people set your priorities. This is how popular government is supposed to work. And at the end of the day, the rule of law, which is a lot of people call themselves law and order folks, in Alabama, but the leadership is not being law and order when they're openly defying a United States Supreme Court decision. And let's not forget, this is a 6-3 conservative Supreme Court. This is not a progressive liberal court. And for them to have come out with the decision to say that Alabama's gerrymandered lines are racist in nature, and to tell the government of Alabama to get it together, and then for the government of Alabama to defy them, really speaks to their cowardice and their incapacity to change with the times. Alabama needs to get it together.
Arizona